You guys thought the Madden ratings were bad. We thought that was the end of the off-season madness. As camp came, we thought we were spared for the annual foolishness that is the NFL Top 100. Now, these things are kind of designed to create controversy and pretty much make fan bases mad or argue about who deserves to be where or what. And this year, I got to give them their credit. They have succeeded with some weird rankings, just to say at this moment. It's honestly probably going to get much more controversial and worse as we go on, because they only announced, 41 to 100 so far? So there's like 40 more names that they're going to introduce. Nick Chubb still has yet to have his name called. I don't believe they'll be that goofy to leave Nick Chubb out of a top 100 video. But if they do, there'll be another video up about it. But these top 100s have long-standingly been weird, odd, and just kind of unreliable and hard to nail down the consistent philosophy used in order to rank these players. And it might be in part because they use a survey of NFL players to do this. Now, while that ideal of the players ranking each other may be sound on paper, in practice, it usually ends up with some weird results whenever they do such a thing. And this year is no exception. Just some extremely odd results that I just don't believe players made these decisions. I don't think players vote unless there was like a heavy leaning or a heavy campaigning behind the scenes by certain players. I don't see how some of these rankings ended up where they are. And the ones that bugged me the most, and it's not just Browns guys, even though when we get to Myles Garrett, my goodness, but it's rankings like Josh Allen at 87. And, hey, look, some people think Josh Allen's good. I'm not one of those people. So don't spare yourself in the comment section. If you're going to try to write a 5-page article about why Josh Allen is better than Baker Mayfield, just spare your time. I don't care. I don't believe it. I still would take Baker Mayfield over Josh Allen. Josh Allen, he has his usefulness. He is a good runner, but he's a terrible thrower of the football. He's not accurate. And no split that you cherry-picked from 3 specific games is going to convince me otherwise. This guy is a 50% passer. And you can bring up Baker Mayfield all you want in that conversation. I really don't care, because Baker Mayfield ain't sniffing this list for obvious reasons. But the reality is, Josh Allen is in no way accurate. And you're never going to convince anybody he's accurate, because he's not accurate. He has a great arm. He has great athletic ability, but he's not accurate. He's like Cam Newton with no accuracy. That's what I would say Josh Allen is. But hey, 87th best player in the NFL, I slightly disagree with that one. And then we go to 86, and this is where it starts to get egregious here. Marlon Humphreys, the defensive back for the Baltimore Ravens, the number 1 defensive back for the Baltimore Ravens, is 87 or 86. He's 86. Josh Allen is 87. Marlon Humphreys, 86. Marcus Peters, the Ravens' number 2 corner, 53. This makes no sense. Did somebody forget to flip the 2 guys? Marlon Humphrey should obviously be at 53, and Marcus Peters should be in the back end. That is actually accurate. But how did this get flipped? That just has to do with name value and name brand, and more people know the name Marcus Peters than Marlon Humphreys, and they're just people voting that are just looking at names and going, yeah, this guy, instead of actually evaluating the thing, because players don't really have time to take hours into their evaluation like people who aren't players have the time to do. But yeah, that's goofy. So Baltimore fans watching this, absolutely, you are right. Marlon Humphrey at 86 is absolutely goofy. He is at least in the 50 range, if not in the top 50 range. He's one of the best corners in football. But 86, one spot better than Josh Allen. That's hilarious. And only 7 spots better than Josh Allen, Myles Garrett. Yes, Myles Garrett is the 80th ranked player in NFL. And oh my goodness, the arguments I heard trying to excuse this, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. Because people are saying, well, they're just discounting it because he knocked somebody in the head and, he got suspended for the last 6 games. You got to punish him by ranking him higher on a list that he does not deserve to be ranked higher on. If you just didn't want to rank Myles Garrett because he knocked somebody in the head with a helmet and you're in the NFL and you don't want to glorify that kind of behavior by giving that guy a high ranking, all right, dope. Just say he's ineligible for the list. But when you do something stupid like take one of the best 5 defensive players in football and rank him 80th because he hit Mason Rudolph in the head with a helmet, not because he's not good at football, because he made a bad decision on a football field, then your list just starts to lose credibility. This is just goofy at this point. This is stupid at this point. I think what happened was the players had Myles Garrett ranked probably in the top 50 where he belongs to be. And the NFL was like, I don't know if that sends the right message. Now, we can argue on if that message is warranted or not on another day. If you're making a top 100 NFL players list and you're going to put Myles Garrett on there in a year that he was on pace to break the single season sack record, then you can't put him at 80 because that's just stupid. You make your list sound stupid. And again, the arguments about, oh, well, you want to punish Myles Garrett. What? He's got suspended for 6 games. Isn't that punishing Myles Garrett? What are you talking about? How's this list a part of his punishment? That's stupid. That's ridiculously dumb. Myles Garrett, no matter how you flip it, dice it, try to make it make sense, Myles Garrett as the 80th best player in the NFL is ridiculous because there ain't 80 players the NFL GMs are going to rush to trade for that aren't Myles Garrett. There's like 10 or 12 that aren't quarterbacks that GMs would want to get before they get their hands on Myles Garrett. Max 30 guys that GMs wouldn't want to get their hands on that GMs would want to get before getting Myles Garrett. It's just ridiculous. Myles Garrett is clearly one of the best 20 players in the NFL, played at that level. And again, I get it. If you just didn't want to rank him and reward what he did at the end of the season, just say he's ineligible for the list. It's all you had to do was say, hey, Myles Garrett, not eligible for the list. Better luck next year, Myles. You did great, but we couldn't rank you. I don't want to send the wrong message. But instead, you do this half measure by we're going to rank him, but we're not going to put him where he deserves, so we're going to put him at 80. And you just make yourself look stupid. You make people who like Myles Garrett and don't have a problem with what he did, or at least as much as a problem as some people have, just angry, and you end up just having no credibility because this is goofy. This is a goofy rating. This is the kind of rating that makes people just want to throw your list away in the garbage is right when they see it. Because it's just, how is that accurate? Nobody can give me a good argument on the football field how that's accurate. How 80 players, no, 79, my bad, 79 players in the NFL are better than Myles Garrett. Please, show me the list. Because I promise you, there aren't 79 players. Calais Campbell is in no way better than Myles Garrett. If he was better than Myles Garrett, the Jacksonville Jaguars would have hung on to him because he's a cornerstone piece to what they're trying to build. But no, they gave him away to the Baltimore Ravens because he's not as good as Myles Garrett. And we can continue to go down this list all day, and I'll tell you players who aren't as good as Myles Garrett, like Jimmy Garoppolo, like Tyler Lockett. All of these guys, nowhere near Myles. Myles Garrett is the lowest ranked Browns that's going to make this list. And he's the best Brown on the team, pound for pound. He's the best player on the Browns, worst ranking. How does that make sense? Make it make sense to me, because I can't. It's goofy. By the way, they almost make this even goofier by having Keenan Allen, one of the better wide receivers in the NFL, at 77. Again, the Madden ratings were bad. But this is just like, wow, 77. Keenan Allen, you're the 7. All right, I guess. Now, Jarvis and Odell, that wasn't a terrible ranking. They had Jarvis at 61. A little bit. I think Jarvis is closer to the 50 range, but hey, and Odell at 59. I think that's fair. I think that Jarvis in the real rankings would be a little bit higher than Odell for the 2019 season because he was just healthy, and a healthy Jarvis is going to be better than an injured Odell, and he put up better numbers. I get the arguments that Odell opens up a bunch of things for Jarvis, and they highlighted that oddly in Odell's video package. But, you know, good enough ranking there. I have no problem with it. But Jimmy Garoppolo at 43. What? Jimmy Garoppolo. The same Jimmy Garoppolo that Kyle Shanahan would go on multiple drives during games, not allowing him to throw a football because he knew he held the offense back. The same Jimmy Garoppolo that was the reason why everybody knew that the 49ers weren't going to win the Super Bowl this year. The Jimmy Garoppolo that people kind of were making the case that Tom Brady should sign and take his job. The Jimmy Garoppolo that's horribly overpaid, not really great at any specific thing on the football field, doesn't have a great arm, doesn't have the best accuracy. He has a quick release, but not the quickest release. He's not particularly fast or agile. He's pretty bland and average, does not really add a lot to the team. And then if you look at other run-heavy teams like Tennessee, you can make the argument that Ryan Tannehill was much more important to his team's success than Jimmy Garoppolo ever was for San Francisco's success. Again, the team was great. They went to the Super Bowl. He happened to be the quarterback. So the logic going into this list is, well, generic, basic. I'm not going to think about it too much. Quarterback logic. This guy was a quarterback on a Super Bowl team. He must be a top 50 player. I beg to differ on Jimmy Garoppolo being a top 50 player. He's an average quarterback. He is a starting quarterback in the league. He is a game-managing quarterback. He is a worse version, in my opinion, of what Alex Smith was in his peak in Kansas City. And I don't think that is the 43rd best player in the NFL. Now, let me know if there are any rankings that you saw in this NFL supposed top 100 that drove you crazy, like Myles Garrett being the 80th ranked player in the NFL in 2019 when he had 10 sacks in 10 games. If anything like that just irked you or bugged you, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know if you think these rankings are fair. Do you think I'm being too harsh on Jimmy Garoppolo and Josh Allen, or do you think I'm not being harsh enough? Let me know down in the comment section below. But again, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Ding that notification bell so you can be notified. A ton of videos going to come up during the NFL season. You're going to want to be locked and loaded so you know where to get it. But again, guys, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and have a good night.